What's good, fam? Agent O here with another action figure review. And today I have the SH Figuarts Avengers Infinity War War Machine Mark IV. You have to bear with me because my allergies are acting up something fierce. So you might hear a lot of sniffing and whatnot. You know, it's the allergies. It's not. I'm not engaging in any illegal, uncontrolled substances. So anyway. This is the box, like you guys know. I actually dig the fact that he has an insignia. If I can get it to, there we go. It's just, you know, since he's a soldier and, you know, they got the stars and stripes and all that. Got the Tamashii seal of approval. Some side art. Smart on the bottom. Along with all the stuff I can't read because it's in Japanese. And yeah. That is the box for those of you that like the box, but it's what's inside that's important, so let's jump into the review. James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka War Machine. Yeah, man, right off the bat, I like the bulkiness that they went with. They kind of going back to with the design of this character overall. As far as screen accuracy, I mean, it looks pretty screen accurate. He's got the Air Force logos on the shoulders, and you can see which number or which version of armor this is, and the military. I think this is the Air Force, also an Air Force logo. I can't remember. I'm not in the military, nor do I want to be. So, which is why I'm doing reviews. Anyway, yeah, I dig this figure a lot. Like the matte finish on all the gunmetal gray like they always do with War Machine figures. I really dig the back because he's got the missile pods, and he's got his signature Gatling gun, and it's all nice and compact on his back. He's got a bit of a backpack, but it doesn't make him super top heavy, which is really nice. So posing him is going to be pretty easy. It also helps that he has pretty big feet too, so pretty big flat feet. So that also helps as well. I want to say the feet are die-cast metal, which is highly likely. So that also helps with keeping his center of gravity lower, so that it's easier to pose him and balance. Always a nice touch. Lots of detail all over the figure. As usual, they always do the reactor with a clear piece of plastic, as well as the eyes are also, they also use clear plastic on the eyes, which is always cool. Just gives a nice effect, that translucent plastic. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I like the overall look of this figure. They just, you know, it's mostly gray, mostly gunmetal gray, but where they have the silver and red accents, it helps break the figure up, and it helps give it a bit more style in the design department. But yeah, so far, yeah, I really dig the aesthetics of this guy. One thing I would have liked to have seen would have been some of these ports that are supposed to be able to open to reveal like missiles and other types of armament. Would have been kind of cool if that was a feature on the figure, but you know, I guess Figuarts isn't trying to get that in depth with it, but you know, it is what it is. I mainly buy these for the posability and the aesthetics, because honestly the next step would be like to get a Hot Toys, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that's an expensive rabbit hole. So yeah, this is pretty good. Articulation is all right for the most part. We'll get into the little kinks and hindrances. His head is on a ball joint. He can't look that far up, so you can only look up that high because the back of the head, as you can see, is it hinders posability a bit, but his neck is also on a ball joint at the base of the upper torso, so you can get him to look up that high. and you can get him to look that low, but when you add the neck in, he can look even lower. When you have the neck articulation. His shoulders have that pull out joint. As you can see, you can pull it out to get a bit more range of motion. He's got a bicep swivel, which is always good. The shoulder pauldrons, or whatever they're called, are on a hinge, so they can get up and out of the way. And you don't have a true butterfly joint, it's just a ball. It's just a double ball peg. That's what you got. Or double ball. It's a ball swivel. I'm sorry. I always get those things mixed up. But yeah, it gives you a little bit of movement back and forth. He has double jointed elbows. He has ball peg hands. So you can get all the rotation. You don't get a whole lot of back and forth movement, just because this gun, this forearm mounted gun gets in the way. His torso, he's got a diaphragm joint, so you can get some side to side. The torso turns at the hips. The lower torso rotates. The upper torso does rotate a bit too, so you can get some range of motion there. When you combine the two, he can't really go forward that much, but he goes back a bit more. His backpack kind of, and the rest of his upper torso kind of gets in the way of him going back some more, but you still get pretty decent. And you combine that with the head, and you can get some decent flying poses out of it. So that's not a problem. He's got the drop down hips, if you can see on the inside there, so you can drop him down. And he's got inner thigh swivel as well, and he also has some added tilt in the inner thigh. And most Iron Man figures have this, so if you've bought SH Figuart Iron Man figures in the past, most of them have this feature as well. So you can maneuver it so you can get his leg to go forward and up a bit more. The side skirts are a little bit articulated, so you can get some clearance, or you can lift them up so that you can tuck the legs underneath, and you can get a bit more of a split. This is about how much you're going to get, but Rhodey isn't a fighter in the suit of armor. Now that would be kind of cool if Iron Man built a suit that was based for agility and hand-to-hand combat. That'd actually be really nice, but whatever. So you have this extra tilt in the thigh swivel that helps a lot with moving the leg, with getting more range, getting a bit more range of motion. You can bring his legs in so you can kind of cross them if you wanted to. But you have that, so that helps a lot. He has double jointed knees as well, and the armor pieces covering his foot, the front's a little bit articulated, so you can move his feet up about that far. With the back, you can move the armor plating out this far, and you can bend his feet, and then you can just move it back, because his feet don't bend as far as this gives clearance for. But it's nice that you get this much. It's nice that you get this much clearance, because you can make sure it's good and out the way before you move the foot back, and then you can just put the foot back like so. And he has the toe point. For some reason, the toe point goes that way too. I don't know what you're gonna ever need that for, but it can. This is about as far as you'll get with the toe point. Not too bad, not too shabby. He does have some ankle rockage. It's not a whole lot due to the way the lower legs are articulated, but he does have some there. It's mainly for posing purposes, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good ankle tilt. So you can get some nice spread leg poses, and you'll have no balancing issues. So yeah, so far so good on the articulation side. Tried to do that little 3-point stance, and I couldn't quite get it, but I'm sure you can with a little bit more finagling. I'll try again, and if I pull it off, I'll include images, so as proof, pics or it didn't happen. So he comes with a lot of stuff. All this stuff on his back is removable. It all just kind of, it's all fixed. It all has their own slotted pegs, peg hole there for the missile pods. There's a peg right. Oops, sorry. There's a peg here for the Gatling gun. And all, like I said, all this stuff can pull off. As well as these. I don't know what these are. I remember in the movie they dropped a bunch of bombs and stuff, so maybe that's what these things are. Never really could figure it out. But all that stuff comes off, and then his back is just completely bare. So you do have the replacement pieces, like here's a replacement missile pod that goes on the left side, like so, and it's all one piece, so it's not posable in any way, which is unfortunate. I kind of wish it was, or at least maybe a couple ball joints here and there. You also have whatever this piece is. It's also extended. You can see that the top piece on it. You see that the top piece on it moved down a bit, and this is on a swivel. So not only can you rotate it, but you can move it about up and down. So you have that, and you have his Gatling gun on the arm as well, and it just pegs in, and you can rotate it as needed. It's all a bunch of swivels. Kind of would have been nice to get some ball joints in there, especially where the gun sits on the swivel arm. But it's still manageable. You can still get it on either side with some rotating and some maneuvering. I just feel like it could have been easier to do it with ball if this was more ball joints and swivels, but it serves its purpose. You know, I'm only doing the one side because it's the exact same on this side, so no need to put it all on there. But yeah, he has those accessories. He also has, move him out of the way for a sec. He also has the effect piece for his Gatling gun. You can stick it on there and look like he's licking shots out of his Gatling gun. And of course, he comes with the standard boot rocket, effect pieces for the feet, the repulsor blasts for the hands, as you can see, and they look pretty good. It's 3 different colors, and I think the white is painted on. I think the orange and yellow are the 2 different color translucent plastic that they used. And yeah, they just frosted the white on there. And here's the hand rockets for when he's stabilizing himself and flying around in the air. And these look pretty good too. My boot ones one of them was a little bent, and it just always seems like one is always going to end up bent. It's like that on like almost all my Iron Man figures that I bought from Figuarts. It's not a big deal. You can see it's slightly bent at the tip. But yeah, as far as hands, he comes with 4 sets of hands total. He has the salute hand, that's what I call it, where it's flat palm, finger straight, splayed straight out, and you can see that the repulsor area is colored, which is nice. Decent sculpt overall. Nothing really to write home about because it's done the way they usually do. He has the relaxed posed hands, same deal, with the repulsor area. Decent sculpt, looks like robot hands or robot suit hands. And he also comes with the hands They look a lot like the relaxed posed hands, but they have the peg for the repulsor or the flight stabilizer, whichever one you want to use, and it pegs in like so, just like all the other Iron Man figures. This is standard with every single Iron Man figure. So if it ain't broke, they're not fixing it, and it works. I mean, there's, you know, they've got it down. The other thing he comes with, which in my opinion I don't really care about, is the Tamashi stand. It's got his War Machine Mark IV, and you know, of course you can open it and for storage. I don't really care about this. I mean, maybe this might be great for other people, but yeah, I mean, I would have rather had other accessories than a figure stand. Instead of a figure stand, I would have liked to have seen an accessory where I could pull these two pieces off and put another piece on so that it looks like it's open and the missiles are exposed for firing. On his forearms, in the movie, his arms open up and the gun on the front extends, and on the bottom it also opens, and other stuff, other weaponry shows up. That would have been nice to get to, so that this is a little different from all the other Iron Man and War Machine figures that we get. Would have been nice to get something like that instead of a figure stand. A figure stand I feel like is kind of a waste, considering how easy it is to get stands on the internet these days, and how a lot of some figures come with figure stands already, so you can end up with a plethora of stands to use at your discretion. So having another one is just unnecessary to me. But overall, yeah, man, that's really it for this figure. You know, despite what it's lacking and the potential things they could have done to make this Iron Man or, you know, War Machine figure special and more interesting and different from all the other ones, they kind of really stuck to what they know already works. And since nobody's complaining or asking for new things, I guess they're going to continue to, you know, to stay the course. So am I mad that I got this figure? No, not really, because I like the design, and like I said, I like the posability. I do like the stuff that he does come with, minus the stand, you know, and all that stuff works. I don't have any issues with it, so I'm not completely dissatisfied with it. I'm just disappointed that that Bandai and Figuarts are not pushing the envelope on what all these figures could really do, and that'd be really cool if they did. It would also make paying the web exclusive price worth it, as opposed to them charging web exclusive prices for figures that kind of already do the stuff that these figures have already been doing. Yeah, so anyway, that's gonna pretty much do it. I've got nothing else really to add to this review. So until the next action figure review, I'm Agent O, and I'm out. Peace.